What's up, my arch fiends of chaos? Time for another Final Fantasy video, especially since Final Fantasy VII Remake's getting some news and some updates in this event, this private event, I should say, with the Crisis Core reunion. And I think it'd be appropriate to talk more about Final Fantasy VII. Also, I'm also going to start editing my videos earlier before putting my audio on it the night before. That way it looks organized and it's not just a jumbled mess together. So get used to some of that changes as well. So let's get to it. I'm going to get with another theory. The Sephiroth you see in the remake is Advent Children Sephiroth. Remnant Sephiroth, Malice Sephiroth, goes by many names, but I like to call it Malice Sephiroth because that's when his will got into the live stream and poisoned a whole bunch of kids and Advent Children. Now I'm going to tell you how this Sephiroth came into the past to mess with Cloud and Genesis' perfect plan. I think Kadash perfectly fused in one timeline. Kadash have perfectly fused with the Genova cells and finally became Sephiroth. No semblance of Kadash is in this Sephiroth. That explains why in the final boss battle you can see him don the black wing, and how he talks about stuff that hasn't happened yet. You know, when he talks to Cloud saying, careful, you know, what you see has not happened yet. This is because this Sephiroth, now again, I don't know if he went to the Dirge of Service timeline. I don't think so. I think this is the Sephiroth that did not fight Cloud, that didn't fight Cloud this time. Got the Genova cells, or basically Genesis has made Sephiroth escape, or distracted Cloud while Sephiroth escapes, and then Genesis has sent Remnant Sephiroth to the past. So in this timeline of Final Fantasy VII Remake, we have 3 Sephiroths. We still have the Genova Roth that kills President Shinra, which is just Genova, you know, disguising herself as Sephiroth. So we still got the classic Genova Roth. We got the Sephiroth that's still in the northern cave, buried in the northern cave. It was the northern cave, I can't remember, but in that one crystal skill that you see where Cloud goes the black materia to Sephiroth, which will happen probably still later. I mean, they're still going to keep some original stuff from it, but change some stuff. Like the compilation characters are now involved in the original Final Fantasy VII storyline, as you've seen in episode Yuffie, with Deep Ground being a big part of the remake as well. So, you know, and then Avalanche Black, which is Fujito's Avalanche, which I've done a video about that already, so I don't need to talk about that. But I think my theory is that Genesis has sent the Remnant Sephiroth in the past. After perfectly merging, where now it's fully Sephiroth, Kadash is completely dead. So it's Sephiroth's conscious and his new body. So Sephiroth has, you know, merged, and this time didn't get defeated by Cloud, so got sent to the past by Genesis. Because if you look at the end of Dirge of Cerberus, Genesis says we got more work to do. The only thing that's peculiar is Sephiroth starts to hate Genesis and Crisis Core when Genesis shows up saying that, you know, you're a monster, when Sephiroth was going through some distressing stuff on his own existence. You know, even denied Genesis the cells that he needed to, well, keep himself alive. But, and again, the remake is a different timeline, different ideal, different compilation. So, you know, things have changed. Like the fact we see Deep Ground before Dirge of Cerberus, that's a huge question in itself. So I'm not at this point. I'm not even questioning what they could do with the remake. I'm not even. They could kill Tifa off instead of Aerith, which I'd rather not happen. I'd rather just keep that original. But you know, the point is, like with the remake, it's changed because the causality has changed. That's why the Whispers got themselves involved with the party to keep the things on track, because Sephiroth has ruined the timeline so badly that Yuffie is able to meet Deep Ground before Dirge of Cerberus. Like Sephiroth has gone beyond, you know, destroying a planet, rebuilding it, and become a god of a planet, to ruining time itself. And he's even playing his mind tricks using Cloud's Genova cells to play mind tricks him. That's how come Cloud sees Sephiroth all through the remake. Through Marco, and every time he's in a distressing situation, Sephiroth always appears to come and taunt Cloud. So, you know, Remnant Sephiroth is the main Sephiroth you fight. It is the one you fight in the remake. At the very end of Remake Part 1, of course, you know he's not dead, of course. Because he offered Cloud to join him to, you know, rewrite history, which, again, some history should stay the way it should be, obviously, to everything else, you know, and also Zack being alive, history is altered so much that Sephiroth pimp slapped time itself like that. So, you know, he has altered time a whole lot. But that's not the point. The point is, that's why I believe it's Remnant Sephiroth. The other clues is when you fight the Whispers. There's 3 Whispers that looks without the Sephiroth Sephiroth skins. These ones look like these are the Whisper versions, but the Whispers, they use some of the same weapons as the Remnants. You got one that uses a gun, one that uses look like he's using a fist, which would be, you know, Laws, and Yuzu using a gun, and then you got Kadash, which I don't know which exactly Whispers they are, but they are the Whispers. And I don't care what anyone says, they can type in the comments, whatever. I'll see some anime profile pictures, type in the comments as much as I want. I still believe that the Whispers are the Remnants that Sephiroth used. You know, there's a reason why Sephiroth wanted to fight Gojun to fight in the Whispers. That way, nothing could stop him. There's no divine intervention that could stop Sephiroth from his ultimate plan, and that's to rewrite history so much that it erases. But this is like Final Fantasy 13-2 with Caius. Except Caius had a noble reason why he's doing it. Sephiroth wants to now be a god of all time. He's upgraded his plan even further, and Remnant Sephiroth is so strong that he's outside of Genova's control. In fact, you don't even mention. The only time you see him mention Mother is through flashbacks. But this Sephiroth has his own agenda, his own plan. After being sent, and maybe Genesis and Remnant Sephiroth create a plan together, and we'll probably see this in Part 2 of the remake. But Remnant Sephiroth, you know, Remnant Sephiroth, you know, and Genesis probably cooked up a plan where Genesis sends him back to the past, rewrite time in history, and maybe Genesis is back too. Remember, this is a theory video. This is a theory video only, so take it with take it with as much care as possible, because the thing is, when I say fan theory, it's a fan theory, and I know people get on the comments, their anime profile pictures, and love to debunk you, because, you know, internet folks like to argue on the internet. That's what people do on the internet all day, all 24/7. But besides that, the thing is, I think they came up with the plan together, and also I think Genesis came back to the past too. We haven't seen him. We'll probably see him in Part 2, but Genesis is probably, you know, made it where, you know, made a path where Yuffie and Sonon were going to take the path to fight the Spheats, the 2 Spheats. I mean, also with the help of, you know, Scarlet, because, well, that's, you know, they chased after Scarlet, and Scarlet wanted to force him to take the scenic route, so the scenic route goes down to where deep ground is. You play a Yuffie intermission, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I think he was designed by Genesis for that to happen in the first place. And it's probably designed by Genesis for Yuffie to be and Sonon to go visit Midgar instead of the original timeline where you meet Yuffie later on. I think it was destined for Wutai and Shinra to still be warm with each other, and it was probably set up by Genesis, so Yuffie would go straight to Midgar and change up stuff in the timeline. That's why the compilation characters are important in the remake, because this is not Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've said this before. This is the 5th game in the compilation. This is Sephiroth going back in time and messing up, and you playing as original Final Fantasy VII Cloud, well, remake to be correct, but still in the time of the original, and you are to stop Sephiroth from enacting his plan to destroy time. Of course, it becomes too late. Even Aerith says everything is set in stone in the trailer, so everything Sephiroth has did has already took effect. But like I said, the other evidence is that he can mess with Cloud like he did in Advent Children, or Cloud even has some bad flashbacks like he did in Advent Children. The Whispers being the remnants of Sephiroth, pretty much. Sephiroth gaining his black wing. Sephiroth, breaking himself from Genova's control. I mean, what evidence do you need to know this is Remnant Sephiroth? And the fact that they're doing Crisis Core also confirms that, and if Zack's still alive, it's a possibility Genesis could be acting this plan a little earlier than before. Even earlier than the thing. Maybe this time before the events of Dirge of Cerberus, possibly. Instead of searching for the proto-materia. Now, we don't know that for sure. Again, the remake, like I said, the remake could change things drastically. But it should be confirmed, at least I hope it becomes confirmed, that Sephiroth in the remake is Remnant Sephiroth. All that is evidence to why I believe that the remake Sephiroth is the Remnant Sephiroth, or I like to call Malice Sephiroth. The head games, every time Cloud touches a clone of Sephiroth with the numbers on himself, it turns into a Sephiroth that plays with his head each and every time. And that's why Cloud has darker emotions, and that's another reason why Cloud will be happy to kill Johnny for talking too much, or almost killed Reno, because Sephiroth has the future Sephiroth, the Remnant Sephiroth, has gotten to Cloud's head so much that Cloud is closer to becoming just like Sephiroth. Remember, Sephiroth is a troll. He don't just straight up kill. He messes with your head. And if you have Genova cells, he takes over your mind. In fact, in the original, he almost would have killed Aeris if it wasn't for the party stopping Cloud. But Sephiroth messes with Cloud's head, lives rent-free. That's another reason why it's Remnant Sephiroth. Because Genova didn't know who Cloud was. In fact, in the Junon ship, he asked, "Who are you?" And then the Black Materia Sephiroth, which that's what I would call the one in the cave, well, I don't think he comes back with this complete memory, since he's been dead for technically a long time inside the life stream, infecting the life stream. But nonetheless, it's very confusing. But that's why I think it's Remnant Sephiroth. That's why I wholeheartedly believe Remnant Sephiroth. It is Remnant Sephiroth that went back to the past, maybe through Genesis, maybe through his own means, or maybe through some other. We'll find out in Rebirth. And also, may the crystal be with you. Like and subscribe to this if you like this theory. Put a like, that'd be appreciated. Put a dislike, I don't care. Get those numbers up. May the crystal be with you.